there, people, and welcome to yet another episode of Seeking Shamblers. This is basically just the third part of the whole water series, I guess you could say it is. We saw Water 1, we saw Water 2, but we didn't check out Water 3, which actually isn't Water 3, it's actually called Current for some reason. Probably because of what exactly it's trying to pull off here. While the other two were just about showing off the water effect, this is about trying to showcase an underwater current. Basically having a push brush within the water brush. Say like, basically like a wind tunnel. The same idea and principle applies here. You basically get pushed along by something and you basically end up moving along. This is interesting. This is something that could have been done, I guess you could say, for what's it called? E3M3 for Aftershock. I think it's called the surface? Is it the river? Maybe it's just the river. Yeah, I think that's its name, just the river. And yeah, the river, like I said, was rather limited, had a lot of like chunky design to it. It was kind of designed really quickly. But yeah, this is one of the ways it could have been improved, is if it had some sort of underwater current. Yeah, if you have like a speed of 5, apparently it makes a gentle current that you can still swim against. There is one problem though. Basically, because of how it's designed in the engine, and the fact that it's essentially intended for this sort of thing to be, you know, made for wind tunnels, it ends up basically having the wind sound continuing to play. So that's kind of the one downside to using a current, is that you're going to have the flying sound, as in you're in a wind tunnel, constantly playing. Yeah, and this is basically the reason he basically didn't add a current to the levels that he made, because it's extremely annoying or whatnot to him. If you can tolerate it, go ahead, but yeah, it's a rather annoying little bug, just due to the way it's basically designed. If you want to get around it, you have to go into QuakeC and modify it. And yeah, you'd have to like get rid of the wind fly line from like trigger push. But of course the problem with that is then you don't really have the wind sound when you're in the wind tunnel. It basically would kill that. So yeah, you'd basically kind of go either or here. You wouldn't really have both, it seems like, or else you're going to run into this sort of issue. So yeah, needless to say, that's one little annoyance we're going to have to deal with. We could try and manually edit. Like I said, it's rather easy just to cut out that one sound, but rather retain the sound, get the full experience of what exactly that bug is. And this is a little small test level anyway. It's not really like anything that grandiose. So needless to say, not exactly the most important things to really like go in there and actually edit the Quake code to get rid of one sound that we're going to be hearing for a very limited amount of time. So anyway, as I was saying last time, we basically have this level called Current. It's rather funky to get this one working. See, the other two were already compiled out as BSP files, so we didn't have to do any of the work whatsoever. We could just load them and get them to work. This one was just as a map file. You had to manually do all the work yourself, which isn't exactly the easiest of things when not all the textures were included with it. See, basically you have a Quake 101 texture that you need. That's going to require you to find a Quake 101 texture shareware pack wherever you can find that. Luckily for me, I have already found something like that. I already had that pre-built, already had that prepared, so I didn't have to hunt that one down. My problem was that I had to then take that, had to use an obscure 1996 editor to basically put in a particular set of textures. You had to use like a text file to like list out the different names that you wanted and what exactly the names would be inside the particular WAD that you wanted. Then you needed to have all the different texture files for that stored together, and then you needed to have the texture thing itself all together with a particular DOS-based program. I tried a few different ones. This is the only one that didn't really give me like a massive amount of headaches. What in God's name was the name of it? That probably used to know, wouldn't it? What exactly the name of that file was? I believe it was NewWAD. That was it. I tried whatchamacallit, the shareware Quake texture WAD 2 builder, and that really didn't work out for me. So yeah, new WAD seems to be the way to go for that one. It's very basic, very bare bones. The main thing that's annoying is you have to use DOS bots, of course, to run it all out, and of course you need to kind of know at least how to kind of run the program and do different things there. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward once you know what to do. It's very simple. It's as simple as compiling on a map or anything like that. So, and you do need to actually compile out the map as usual, so you basically had all the other steps on top of that, which, like I said, not really the biggest of deals in the grand scheme of things, but it's just the fact of the matter that it's different. And that means learning how to do some funky little different things. So anyway, I did get current working. Let's actually check this thing out so I can say, you know, it's there. It's going to look like the other two. It's basically just another test level. It's just showing that you can have a current with the push brush. So as you see, same exact room, same exact lack of a name besides the file name. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's see here. It's moving along which way? This way. As you see, I can fight against it. It's rather hard to, but it's going to push me along, and it's going to have that wind tunnel sound the entire way I try and swim. So yeah, you can like slide along. It's hard to fight against the current. You can somewhat. Oh my god, I found a way to like cheat it. It's like if you hug the right wall, you can like fight against the current. See, brushes weren't exactly well designed. Like they weren't exactly aligned with it, so it was like a little edge. So it's like you can hug the right wall, and if you hug that particular wall, it's like you can fight against it. As you see, you can like swim against it. It's like I don't even have a current. But if I look this way, you know, it's like you have to look at it straight. If you look at it straight, now it's suddenly hard to fight the current. I can't really do anything. If I jump it, I can also fight it though. So yeah, it's like jump and you like fight the swim current, because it's only of course at the top. It's like if you go higher than it, or really any way around it that you can. Like I said, the brush is not really that well in place. It's pretty easy to like get around it. So yeah, and plus there's no real danger of like moving all the way down to this side anyway. But yeah, it's like you get pushed along. You have this annoying wind sound going constantly. Like I said, really, this is one reason it wasn't really included, because it would have required some edited QuakeC, which Aftershock didn't do. None of the different level sets I've seen have actually modified the QuakeC in any way. Aftershock Toolbots had some different QuakeC files, but they didn't have anything connected to the levels themselves. I don't think there's actually been levels that really require like modifying the QuakeC as well as the level itself. I don't think there's been like one that's kind of done that together. I'm trying to think if like any of the mod files or anything like that, different test levels have done things. I don't think any of them have done like anything to the QuakeC to like do the level. If there was, there probably was some obscure random test level that I just don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's like, this is just a simple effect or whatnot. That's rather annoying, but like I said, you'd have to modify the QuakeC to get rid of it. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it's there. It's a thing, and this is why people didn't really use it. But it shows that current is possible, that you can have like something that you can like fight against. It's kind of gentle while not pushing you down, and it's rather rough trying to fight it back up, as you see. So, yeah, current. Anyway, very simple, very straightforward. It's just the third part of this whole water series. Like I said, kind of bringing this thing to a nice little conclusion with the ability to show off exactly why currents weren't included and why it was so hard to kind of get this one, because it's a really hidden feature, because it really wasn't made to function well. As you see, it's not really made to be something made for general people to use, because it has that annoying little feature. But yeah, if you can get past that, there is a current and it does work. So yeah, successful test level, I guess, in a giant pile of obscure test levels. Thank you all for watching. As usual, it's been an adventure. Hopefully we'll get to something that's not a test level next time. Yeah, like I said, we've kind of been doing a bunch of test levels lately. We kind of need to get back to something else. As I said, we kind of like don't really know exactly what type of surprises we're going to be in for before I kind of really tackle them sometimes. So, needless to say, bunch of random obscure test levels, but they're there, they're a thing, and they're something that most people wouldn't look at or whatnot, and they do show some of the possibilities of the engine, which is always an interesting little thing to talk about. So, needless to say, it is definitely nice to see these little weird quirks. As said, you really have like this push-based mechanic, which, as you see, has a hard built-in to basically require that one sound. So as you see, anything that would push the player, unless it modifies the QuakeC, is going to have a wind-based sound. That's something you probably wouldn't know unless you saw something like this in the test level. So it's a rather weird mechanic to really mention, but it's a thing. So anyway, thank you all for watching. It's been The Adventure. I shall see you all next time.